Hi, everyone. Welcome to No Movies in Hell. I'm Chris Geiger.
I'm Oclaw Scott. Today we are reviewing Cuckoo, a film with Hunter Schafer and Dan Stevens, who I'm a big fan of. I feel like he's like the James Marsden. Like he's in a bunch of stuff, and you're like, wait, was he in that? Yes, he was. So I recently saw Abigail. Um, I I think it was like this week too. And I was like, oh, he's in. And then I saw Vamps, because I love Amy Heckerling, and I was like, oh, he's in that too. And that literally was from like 2012. So
One of those actors who can look really young, but also look like somebody's dad,
yes.
which, I mean, I guess there are young dads out there. So he very seamlessly melts in and out of different characters. And that's why it's hard to place him.
Yes, it's very true. So what are your thoughts on this film, Chris?
It reminded me a lot of that movie that we saw like a year and a half ago, The Bird, the one where
The Hatchling?
yes.
The
It
Danish?
also has a very European flavor to it. So maybe that is a strong theme culturally over there, but it did very much remind me of that. And I liked that. I liked the first movie, The Hatchling, and I also liked this more than I thought I would.
Okay.
The trailer, I thought you didn't get that flavor. It was just sort of more a straight up horror, but I definitely liked the story associated with it. I felt like they did a good job portraying it, and just the unveiling of the family visiting there 8 years ago and how that plays into the whole longer backstory. It's not just a serial killer running loose in the woods, which is kind of what it seems like when you watch the trailer.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know what to expect. I saw the trailer, didn't give much. I had to think about this one for a little bit because there were a lot of competing storylines or like plots and subplots. And I just felt like it took a little bit of time to get to, or like what's going on. And I felt like it wasn't so much a horror as it is a mystery because you're trying to solve something.
Yes. Agree. I will say, not to spoil anything, but when they show the close up on the like this part where it's like
Oh yeah, the throat.
right. At first I didn't understand that was what was making the noise. I thought that was the reaction that like if you hear it, that's what happens to you. You're like, well, it gives you like a seizure or like a spasm right there. And that was what was making people throw up.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to get to the, that's the thing that's not causing it. That's.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very, like the cuts and the edits in it kind of made it very vague. There's still a lot of open questions.
Like, why does I guess the doctor feel the need to dress up? Though the being in a wig and
yes.
makeup.
Yeah. I never got that. Like, it's not like it was a baby that was like, or it was like, okay, well, after 10 o'clock, you can't, like, I need to lock the hotel after 10 o'clock. You can't be out. Well, it's like, why? There was really no explanation. It was like the random people going in and like throwing up. And it was like, yeah, there's so many. I was just like, I'm trying to put this together. I was in a theater that was, I want to say like 75% full. And there were people like laughing at some points because there are some funny points, but some things were just kind of like nonsensical.
Yeah, I did like the sister element of it. It was definitely better than I thought it was going to be going in.
No, I agree. There were some parts like, especially towards the end, like the tense moment where you're just like, wow, you're actually seeing 2 points of view. And like, how are they actually going to get out of this if, spoiler alert, I guess, if the doctor wants the daughter and the guy wants to seek revenge for his wife, but he can't, and he wants to kill the daughter because he's trying to stop the process. And I was like, wow, this is very good and very tense. What now?
Agree.
And the parents.
Right.
So,
questions there too.
they're just around.
Yeah. But that happens in every horror movie, I feel like. The parents are just like, what's happening? So even though we both thought it was better than it would be from the trailer, we still only gave it kind of average marks.
Yeah, I'd have to say, there was some cute confusion for me with the story. There are some ends like I just did not, I didn't really get, and I'm still like trying to think about it. Overall, I thought it was very different, and I appreciate it for what it was. Would I see this movie again? Maybe, just to see if I missed anything from it.
So what seemed odd is that he went to the trouble of taking Hunter Schafer to his house, an indoor swimming pool, where he has a bed set up. And he says the adolescent needs to practice or like needs to learn. But like he stops her from actually like planting the eggs into Hunter Schafer. But you would think that if he were so focused on like propagating this species, he would have gone ahead and let her do that. And then he would have impregnated Hunter Schafer. Like he would have tried to fertilize the eggs. Because that is the ultimate thing, right? Like to have his own, right? I would think from his perspective is that splice his own DNA into that.
Yeah. And I think that's why he brought, like, the sister came back and they were trying to do all those tests. And then they found that, like, she had, I guess that's when it was like, oh, she has epileptic seizures. It's not like this experiment actually is not going well. But yeah, you're right. Like it could have, that was the whole point in what he was supposed to, what he's going to do. But instead he was like, no, I need to go back and see what's going on with like the experiment or her sister. Like, yeah, that was very odd.
And he got the police officer to seduce the front desk clerk.
Yes.
Knowing that this was going to happen. Like, how did you convince that guy to do this?
Yeah. Or like even her dad, like Gretchen's dad. I was just like, why would you even like come here for your honeymoon, knowing what was going to happen, and then like just completely dismiss his daughter, which I felt like that was kind of weird, and that was terrible what was happening to her. But he was in on it too.
Wait, was he? I felt like he didn't know. I felt like it happened 8 years ago. Like the new wife received the eggs, and then the father came in unknowingly and fertilized them just by having sex with his new wife.
But it wasn't the father; it was the doctor. That was like, I think the twist, or one of the twists in this movie, was one of the parents basically gets someone else to raise the child. And then they come back. So it's almost like partner swapping. So that's why he cared so much about the sister, because the sister was his, essentially.
Oh, no, I did not realize that. I thought that he had the being implant the eggs into the new wife, that the father of Hunter Schafer had sex with his wife normally, and then he kept inviting them back to, like, over time. The hotel owner kept inviting them back so he could keep an eye on just the subject, which is the little girl.
Yeah.
Not because he had a like familial relationship to her.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Now I have to I gotta rewatch this. because he invested he sold the house, he sold his ex-wife's house, and to live like on this resort.
Well, he sold his ex-wife's house because she passed.
Yes.
He had a different house that he was going to live in this resort because he was there as an architect and he was building.
But also he had like vested interest in what was going on.
All right. I didn't get that, but I'm not saying that that's not true. But
Someone from Cuckoo, please reach out. Focus features, please reach out to us. We have so many questions.
Agree.
But I thought it was good. Like, I like the humorous elements. I thought that the story is interesting, but I feel like there's still some holes, or maybe I wasn't understanding. I knew I wasn't sleepy. Like, I didn't fall asleep. Yeah.
So it was much more interesting than I think the standard kind of horror movie that I was expecting. So,
Agreed.
Yay for that. Do you have anything to plug in this episode?
Yeah. So I think this has been the summer of horror films.
It's not
really
over.
Good ones. Yeah, it's not over.
We blinked twice.
Yeah, Blink Twice.
It seems
I think so, this weekend.
Blink Twice and Strange Darling.
Yes.
Which definitely seems like a horror.
Yes, it does. I don't know how that's going to go.
I know, but it's on my list for this coming week. And of course, The Crow, which is not horror, but is not a happy-go-lucky romance.
Yeah, no.
It's a very dark summer for movies, let's say.
That's true. Yeah.
But I saw an episode, not like a trailer. So speaking of dark movies, I saw a trailer for that new Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley movie, which looks really interesting and cool.
Okay. I think I've seen like the, I guess, pre-trailer, because they do like the really, 30-second one or something like that, or even less, like 15-second one. That looks like, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. In front of Cuckoo, I saw this trailer for a movie with, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name, but it's like an AI house. Oh. And yeah, it's AI takes over a house, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yes. Aya is like the AI name. Yeah. I don't know if I want to see that. That's not attractive to me. It seems like very straightforward, kind of robots are going to kill us one day. Like, I feel. Yeah.
Yeah, there was one I saw on Hulu recently it was like Meghan, but it was the guy, Tim. There we go. And I was like, yeah, this is pretty straightforward. I understand what's going on, but also I understand why these trailers get buried, because so many people have, AI devices in their homes.
Right. I mean, I think that the closer we get to robots actually killing us, the less I want to see a movie about robots killing us.
Exactly.
I have also seen the trailer for that movie about the Vatican, where the Pope dies and they have to pick a new Pope. And that looks really good. And I don't even, from a religious aspect, I don't really even, it's not super appealing, but from just like the political drama and the behind the scenes, it seems really good. Great cast. Isabella. Love Isabella. So lots of stuff coming up. And we're starting to see smaller movies come out from film festivals. So that is also very good. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.